I would say passionate, driven and stubborn. From a fishing point of view, I'd probably have to say Blair and Fairbrass, just from the sort of drive and push that Fairbrass has and the relentlessness that Blair has. Our scariest moment would be probably South Africa. The first night we were there filming Monster Carp was the first night we experienced the South African spiders and a horrendous storm. And it was, it wasn't a fun place to be. And also the South Africans thought it'd be funny to give me a zebra printed duvet to sleep with. So yeah, not the best time. I've probably been carp fishing now 10 years, 10, 11 years. I was actually quiver tipping in a local park lake, and the friend of mine who I was fishing with had a old school friend come down, and they were pushing their carp portabarra, what I now know to be a carp portabarra, and had all the carp gear on his setup and that, pulled out his stainless, and it was, again, in comparison to what quiver tip fishing was, it was like there was all this extra stuff. And anyway, long story short, he had one bite that day, and as he's playing it, it's come up, and it was like a nuclear submarine, and it was a 38-pound common. That was it. It was just like, right, I'm getting into carp fishing. Other sporting interests, I don't mind a bit of golf, but time's very limited, and what I do, I can't really call golf. One place that if I had one day left to go carp fishing, I'd probably go back to my very first syndicate, a place called Halliford Lakes, but it used to be called Siddies. Back in the day, that was the whole set. If I could go back to that syndicate, that'd be where I'd go. Worst fishing related injury, not that bad, but I did take a stumble off the end of a swim and through my rod tips, and yeah, clattered all my shins on the front of the swim trying to save myself. The best free anglers that I've ever filmed and worked with is very, very difficult. I've been really fortunate over the last sort of 8 or 9 years to film and work with some of the best in the game, you know. So again, it would have to be quite a big split really. You've got, again, Fairbrass, you've got Blair. Ollie Davis is way up there just because, again, his mindset and the way that he fishes. Pecky though, Pecky is again just a phenomenal angler, and just again the way that he sees things. But it probably have to be Spooner just because, again, his determination, regardless of what the weather is, what time of night it is, he's always on it. Favourite moment of my career, I would say so far, would probably be my first ever Monster Carp shoot. I got thrown right into the deep end. I was Ali's cameraman at night, never done a Monster Carp shoot before, and yeah, again, massively felt out of my depth, but it was one of them. We got to the end of the trip, and it was the Carl Says trip where Ali went on to catch a massive common. Dovey and Spooner had caught loads of big uns. It was kind of like all my work in life had kind of built to that point, and it was like, I didn't really feel like I deserved to be there, but I was there, and it was a mega moment. The strangest place I've ever filmed a carp being caught, I would probably say was in Liverpool, in like Sefton Park, or one of the strange places that Blair used to make us sleep in between shoots and stuff like that. It was never a dull night's fishing with Blair. You could be on a nice little quiet stretch somewhere, or sleeping next to a pissy set of steps by the river, which yeah, that was definitely a night to be remembered. Three things I'd never go fishing without would definitely be my camera, my kettle, and probably a book. I don't really have many regrets in life or in fishing, but one would probably be not doing more when I could. You know, it's the lifestyle of a cameraman within fishing is very intense, and you don't get to do as much fishing as you'd probably like to. So I wish I made more of my fishing when I had the chance to. I'm really, really grateful for my job and career that I've got. It's so varied and no 2 days are the same, and again, just some of the lovely and beautiful places that I get to visit and go, and sometimes not the beautiful places, sometimes it's the weird and wonderful places and bits like that, but normally it's the insight that you get into people. You know, again, like as anglers, we're all odd and weird in our own kind of way, and certainly when you're filming someone so intensely, you know, over a 24-hour period or even sometimes longer, you really actually get to meet that person, and it's, yeah, you get to meet some weird and wonderful people in life. One of the least favourite parts of the job, but also strangely and probably statistically, it's one of the favourite parts of the job, is sometimes the living conditions. You know, like you can be on the bank for a very long period of time, and it's not always the case that you've got fantastic facilities. So sometimes you're making the best of a situation with a hole, let's just say that. I always feel like I'm winging what I'm doing in life, and certainly in my job, but it seems to work. I do like a cup of coffee, but it does go straight through me. Our spooner, if he makes the power coffees in the morning, I'm often quite quickly running off to the toilet, so I'm going to go with a safe cup of tea. Favourite biscuit, it's definitely got to be a shortbread. Favourite takeaway, if I was at home, a Chinese, but if I'm on the bank, I don't think you can beat an Indian. Funniest moment on the bank would probably be the social from Life at Nash 4 in Hungary. It was certainly an experience for me, and again, it was just sharing it with good company and having a good laugh with a load of mates and a little bit of dancing. One fish that I would love to have caught, past or present, would have to be my first ever target carp. Yeah, it was, again, back on my first syndicate. It was the first place I really got my teeth sunk into, and there was a common in there that I had photographed multiple times, and I'd gone through the rest of the list. I caught majority of them, but it was always this one common that I really wanted and really focused on, and sadly I never got the chance to, and won't ever get the chance to.